Hey guys, welcome to Homebnb Podcast. This is your host, Gustavo Briseño. The purpose of this podcast is to provide our listeners with positive content about the short term rental industry and at the same time be able to learn from successful hosts around the world through their stories and the strategies that make them successful. So, if you are a host or you are thinking about becoming part of this wonderful industry, this is the podcast for you. Today, I have the pleasure to introduce our following guest. He's a native of North Carolina, an entrepreneur to the core. He was the guy selling you candy in school. He is the owner of Service RX, an installation, service, and maintenance company for commercial fitness equipment that operates from Pennsylvania to Florida to Atlanta. He is the CEO of a newly formed guest house LLC, a short-term rental management and investment group. He has been a long-time member of Inmates to Entrepreneurs, where he is a board member, teacher, and mentor. He has received invitations from the White House and members of the Congress to his work with Inmates to Entrepreneurs. He truly believes anything is possible with great mindset, good work ethic, and creative, thoughtful approach. It is a pleasure for him to share his experiences with those around him. So please, Home BNB listeners, help me welcome Scott Jennings.
Thanks, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
So why don't we start by you telling us what you do, who are you? I mean, and explain in more detail, more about yourself.
Okay, so I was, like I said, I was the kid who would sell you candy in middle school or so forth, right? I'd go buy it for 10 cent, 15 cent, whatever it was, and and sell it to you for 25, 30, 50 cent in school, right? And 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 I've just sort of always had this mentality, and that's before we understood what the word entrepreneur was, or or even just business owner or self-employed. I've just always had that thought process of I can do it better, right? And more often than not having any guidance. And I've tried to start many businesses and really wasn't successful until I learned to get out of my own way. And I did that through getting first and foremost sober, and then secondly start learning to ask questions and realize that as a man, we are often taught, and I'm sure women are taught the same way. Okay, as society often tells us we're supposed to already know the answers, and that's not the case. So fast forward, I end up starting Service RX. Service RX is just now becoming the name of the business. The business has been fit, tech, and assembly for the last almost 10 years. Uh, we're a fitness equipment installation and service company, so commercial fitness equipment installation services, right? Uh, I started that with $75, an 86 Toyota pickup truck, and a bag of tools, and a lot of desperation, and we become $1 million business today. All right, so I know that you can sort of start with nothing and build something, right? And so that leads, and then we're just switching names because it's a good time during the current crisis and things are down to take the time to switch names because we have learned, and I learned the hard way, and I didn't know, this is the things that we make that are mistakes. When I named it Fit Tech and Assembly, I didn't know enough about the business to realize that there's probably 12 fit techs across the nation,
Yeah.
maybe more, and today we get penalized by another fit tech's mistakes. So, inside of our industry, someone hears our name. An example of how many fit techs there is. A couple months ago, I fielded a phone call, and the girl says, "Hi, yes, I'd like to set up a schedule for you guys to come out, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Okay, where are you at?" Just the typical questions. And she says, I think she said Sacramento. I said, California? She said, yes. I said, ma'am, we're in North Carolina. That's just not going to happen. Unless you're willing to pay for the plane ticket, we're just not going to show up.
Ben, what has been your experience with the short-term rental? You say you manage 5 properties right now and you let one go, correct?
Yes.
Are out of those properties, I mean, what are the sizes? I mean, what kind of market do you have? What has been your experience to this?
Mm-hmm. So all of our stuff is here in North Carolina. Mostly, currently it's Chapel Hill and Durham. So we're catering to those. So Chapel Hill is UNC, Tar Heels. If you're into college basketball, you're definitely going to know who that is. And then Durham would be Duke. You're going to know who that is as well.
Yes.
And so our apartment, or we have an in-law suite that sits between Duke and what we call RTP, Research Triangle Park. It's where IBM, a lot of huge pharmaceutical companies are, Glaxo Wellcome, things like that. And so we cater to more, that unit caters to more of a longer stay. We are looking for, nurses and business travelers and stuff. So we tend to have people in there 2 weeks to 2 months. Over in Chapel Hill, we have 2 studios, 1 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. And so the studios are catered more to, if they're more of a utility again. So that's going to get returning alumni, parents to come see their kids, people coming to get medical help. We get a lot of cancer patients and things like that. People coming to apply to work at the school. And then the same with the 2-bedroom, same thing. The 3-bedroom tends to be catering towards those who are looking to move to the area. So it's a larger group coming in, or sometimes it is some of the kids. We've talked about party issues and whatnot. I'm just very adamant with them. And also I get some tricks on, how to deter them prior, not just with simple statements. I have a whole email that goes out to them about, and it goes out to all my units, by the way, that talks about partying. But we've done well.
Where do you see the industry going after the COVID-19?
I think it's going to explode, and here's why. All right. So as I've hopefully have heard, and if not, I'll send you the link afterwards. Airbnb is putting out this new cleaning policy, right? Essentially, when it comes to that portion of our industry, they have dramatically failed in their leadership. Their leadership it was 3 guys who hit on a wonderful thing, and tapped a market. And I'm not going to take away from the amazingness of what Airbnb and HomeAway and any kind of short-term rental is at all. You cannot take that away. It is an amazing financial economy that if you tap it and you have a high standard, you can do very well. You're allowed 5 minutes of emotional freak out, and then it's time to go gangsta.
Yeah,
And it's
right.
the truth, right? You have to get your shit together. So that's what we did. And we started learning to offline book. We started as Airbnb was put, or any of the platforms put things in our way. We'd figure out how to get that person offline and get them direct book. Here's why it's going to survive. And this is what Brian does not understand. He has survived because of the professionals who understand business inside of his platform. Who understand how to make this happen, how to pivot quickly and figure it out, because all the unprofessional people are the ones who you found in all the groups nonstop whining.
Absolutely.
Yes, we can whine.
That's what I noticed.
But you have to understand that your whine also takes you owning the responsibility. What are you doing wrong as a business? Because you are a business. Stop forgetting that Airbnb is just a tool. You're a business. You better figure this out, and you better figure it out quickly. So that's you get short-term rental insurance. So just start Googling short-term rental insurance. There's a handful of providers out there. There's some organizations that what is it called? I think they're called Lemonade, and there's one other that will, in certain regions, the larger regions, they don't serve my area, that will give you insurance per booking, right? So they will sync in with your stuff.
HomeAway does that too. You want to be aware of all these things. Especially right now with all the situation, you want to be aware of all the things that are going on out there, and the things that are going to be able to protect your business. Because
I'm nowhere near a genius, but I can get down there, and because of educational levels, because of understanding of the quality that I'm looking for, of what elevating my standards are always elevated. And like I've already warned, your cleaning ladies, you're going to have to teach them, because they just don't do the things the same way we do, right? They're like, what's wrong with that? Because there's still crumbs on the table. That's why, things like so. But once you do that in those areas, you stand head and shoulders above.
Absolutely.
And so but also it's the opportunity for me to go down there. Okay, so I pay my cleaner for a studio $50, right? Okay.
I lost my job, and I started doing the Airbnb, and I was doing all the cleaning because I had all this time. But now, I mean, that we are in a different state, we have to hire someone, and that hire, I mean,
Hmm.
it might be a family member, it might be a friend that it might be going through a situation. But I mean, being able to put money in your pocket and at the same time, I mean, helping someone else with their economy, I mean, I think that's what an entrepreneur does, you
I
know?
had to learn about the different softwares. I'm already on my third software platform. Um, I had to learn that the vast majority of softwares for our industry are built by engineers, and they do not understand user experience or customer service.
Yeah.
They don't get what customer service is. Um, they're because some of them build some wonderful products, but when you're not quite sure how to work it properly, you need to talk to somebody, and they don't. And so that's an email system for them. Maybe set up a Zoom call in a week or something like that, and or Google Hangout. I'm like, man, I'm doing business in real time. I'm not doing business. What are you? Are you on island time? Where are you at?
Right. What are you doing now to provide a better experience to your guests? I mean, what is that thing that makes your property different? And I mean, it might help you get people coming back. So, what are you doing in order to accomplish that? I guess a better experience in order to get more bookings or people coming back to your house.
Hmm. All right, so that's okay. So first and foremost, let's just start with the idea of comfortability, right? Home, all right. Um, essentials. Okay. So start with those three ideas and then talk about, then you go to standard, right? What are my standards? Because before I got into this, I traveled to some places and some places were great too. I would tell all your listeners, if you want to learn a lot about psychology, you got to learn to become a business owner. And one of the things that really taught me a lot about psychology was a book called Never Split the Difference by, oh shoot, his name, um, shoot, Never Split the Difference by, well, heck, I'm not going to remember.
We'll go
Uh,
ahead and add it to the notes of the
yeah,
podcast for
man,
sure.
and it's this guy was an FBI. Um, he's the guy who talked you down off the ledge. You know, he had to learn how to deal with human beings and psychology, and that's the key, right? So that's why you go to a hotel and it's white linens all the way through because it's associated with clean, right? You know, you want to make sure that our bedspreads get washed almost every single time, you know. So I'd rather constantly be paying for bedspreads than, you know, for, and don't go out and buy either. Do not buy expensive when you do not need expensive.
About
You know.
how how to create a better experience for your customer, and everything starts from the home, from your business, from your employees. And like we were talking about, I mean, before the interview, I mean, about getting all the supplies for whoever's cleaned the house and all that, and you start creating a better experience for whoever works for you, and that transfers over to your product. In our case, I mean, to your reservations, and
Mm-hmm.
people notice, and people get that experience, and they're gonna tell you in the review, thank you, because you had this and this that
So for the new host, um, this is a great opportunity. It might look a little weird at first because we're coming out of this thing that we don't know, we haven't understood, and the major platform for that sends work your way is a little lost right now. But you know, so but here's the thing: is I sort of made the mistake. I didn't say this earlier. Is that I was only on Airbnb by itself for like 2 months before I was immediately on HomeAway and Booking.com and looking for other ways to do business. And those platforms are extremely different from each other in the way they operate, not in the basic idea of how they work, but in the way they operate. So, learn one platform, and then do another one, and then do another one, and then and
Keep adding.
get very comfortable with each platform because they operate differently. Um, Not all booking channels are the same, so do your homework, find what works for you. Uh, uh, Again, don't be afraid to ask questions and learn with inside of the community. Uh, Good people in the community are more than willing to share knowledge and help you be successful. And shame on the ones who won't. There's plenty of pie for everybody.
Yeah.
For the current